Giulia and Roxanne Perez attack Rhea Ripley and IYO SKY. WWE SHOCKWAVE. In the world of WWE, alliances are fragile, ambitions are ruthless, and chaos is always just one moment away. But no one saw this coming. On a night already packed with anticipation, Monday Night Raw turned into pure mayhem when two unexpected forces, Giulia, the Japanese megastar from STARDOM, and NXT's prodigy Roxanne Perez, joined forces in a shocking and brutal assault. Their targets? Two of WWE's most dominant champions, Rhea Ripley, the reigning women's world champion, and IYO SKY, the genius of the Sky and WWE Women's Champion. The attack has left the WWE Universe stunned. Why did it happen? How did Giulia even get involved? And what does this mean for the future of WWE's women's division? Strap in, because we're breaking down every jaw-dropping detail of the moment Giulia and Roxanne Perez took WWE by storm. It was a regular Monday Night Raw, or so we thought. Rhea Ripley had just returned from a successful title defense at Backlash. Dominant, confident, and fresh off a confrontation with Liv Morgan, she stood tall in the ring, issuing a warning to anyone foolish enough to step in her path. Meanwhile, on SmackDown, IYO SKY had retained her title in a brutal match against Bayley, proving once again why she's one of the most dangerous champions in WWE history. Fans were buzzing about a potential showdown between the two champions. A champion versus champion teaser had been floating around the dirt sheets, and tension was rising between Raw and SmackDown. But no one knew that something bigger, something unexpected, was about to unfold. Giulia. The name alone carries weight in Japan. The STARDOM icon had dominated the Japanese wrestling scene, holding world championships and building a cult-like following with her unique blend of elegance and violence. Rumors had swirled for months about her WWE debut. Contracts, negotiations, meetings, it was all speculation. But nothing had been confirmed. Until now. During Raw's main event, Rhea Ripley was in the ring for what was supposed to be a champion's address. She started speaking about dominance, legacy, and her desire to hold both titles, hers and IYO SKY's. The crowd was locked in. And then, without warning, Roxanne Perez's music hit. The 22-year-old sensation Roxanne Perez marched down the ramp, microphone in hand, and looked Rhea dead in the eyes. "I'm not here to be the future anymore. I'm here to be the present. And that starts with putting you in your place." The crowd erupted. But before Rhea could respond, the arena lights flickered. The camera cut to the crowd. And there she was, Giulia, in the front row, unannounced, wearing a trench coat, staring at the ring with cold intensity. Corey Graves shouted on commentary, "That's Giulia. That's Giulia from STARDOM. What is she doing here?" Rhea turned her attention to Giulia, distracted, intrigued, and that's when the ambush began. From behind, Roxanne lunged at Rhea Ripley. A fierce takedown, a brutal elbow to the face. Rhea tried to fight back, but the surprise gave Roxanne the edge. And before Rhea could recover, Giulia hopped the barricade. Security hesitated. No one had orders to stop her. She slid into the ring with a steel chair. Crack. One brutal chair shot to Rhea's back. Then another. And another. The crowd went silent in disbelief. Together, Roxanne and Giulia decimated the women's world champion in a coordinated, surgical assault. Officials and referees rushed in, but neither attacker flinched. Giulia stood over Rhea's motionless body. Roxanne knelt beside her, eyes cold, unfeeling. But the night wasn't over yet. Backstage, IYO SKY had been watching. She wasn't scheduled to appear on Raw, but the attack on Rhea drew her out. She sprinted to the ring, championship in hand, a mix of confusion and fury on her face. The moment she slid in, Giulia turned. Two rivals from different worlds, now face to face. Fans who knew the Japanese wrestling scene felt the gravity of that moment. Giulia and IYO SKY had history, wars in Japan, bitter rivalries, a mutual respect forged through blood and broken bones. But tonight, respect meant nothing. Giulia pointed at IYO's title, smiled, and then Roxanne blindsided IYO from behind with a dropkick. The beatdown resumed. By the end of the night, both Rhea Ripley and IYO SKY were left battered, bruised, and broken. The crowd was stunned. Giulia and Roxanne Perez stood tall over the two top champions in WWE, holding their titles mockingly. They didn't speak a word. They just walked out, together, a silent message sent loud and clear. The era of dominance is over. A new power duo has emerged. Backstage, WWE personnel scrambled. Triple H reportedly was livid about the security lapse that allowed Giulia to breach the ring. Roxanne Perez, a contracted NXT superstar, was called to emergency meetings, but neither woman apologized. Sources say both Giulia and Roxanne arrived and left the building together. Deliberate, confident, unfazed. Cameras later caught up with Roxanne in the parking lot. Her only words? Change doesn't wait. We made it happen. Why did it happen? Fans began piecing it together. For Roxanne Perez, the motive was clear. She had spent months in NXT growing more bitter, more aggressive. Her attitude had shifted. She was no longer the smiling prodigy. She was angry, overlooked, and fed up with empty promises. Her recent promos hinted at disillusionment. I've been called the future since I was 18. But when does the future become the now? As for Giulia, this was her statement of arrival. Rather than debut with hype videos or a handshake contract signing, she chose violence. She didn't want to join WWE. She wanted to invade it. And she couldn't have picked a louder target than Rhea Ripley and IYO SKY. WWE superstars took to social media immediately. Becky Lynch tweeted, "Well, guess we're not in Kansas anymore." Bayley commented during a backstage interview, "Giulia is dangerous. Roxanne's lost her mind. And honestly, I kind of respect it." Liv Morgan, who has history with Rhea, said, "Couldn't have happened to a better person. Karma's wild." Even NXT GM Ava Raine responded, "Roxanne has officially crossed the line. Consequences are coming." Now, the landscape of the women's division is forever changed. Rhea Ripley and IYO SKY are no longer untouchable. Roxanne Perez and Giulia have proven they're not here to play games. They're here to take over. What happens next? Reports suggest that a tag match is being discussed for an upcoming premium live event. Rhea Ripley and IYO SKY teaming up, unlikely allies, to face Giulia and Roxanne Perez. Some insiders say a fatal four-way championship unification match may be in the works for SummerSlam. Others believe this is the start of a full-blown women's brand war. But one thing's for sure, Giulia and Roxanne Perez just declared war on the status quo. In one night, the entire balance of power shifted. Two dominant champions, two uninvited threats, and a future that promises chaos, carnage, and career-defining clashes. Giulia and Roxanne Perez didn't just attack Rhea Ripley and IYO SKY. They made history, and now the countdown to retaliation begins. Who will rise? Who will fall? And how far will Giulia and Roxanne go to take control of WWE? Let us know. Are you on Team Giulia and Roxanne? Or are you backing the champs, Rhea Ripley and IYO SKY? Thanks for watching. And remember, in WWE, expect the unexpected.